Today is June the 6th and it's misting rain. I'm going to have to put a little piece of cardboard over my camera to get a few shots, but I wanted to do that. I know that a lot of people in Oklahoma are saying rain, rain, go away, come again another day. But so far I'm still loving our rains. We just haven't got so much to cause too much problem, although we do have some washout and a few little ruts I'll need to fix. But any gardener will tell you that a rainy day is the perfect day for transplanting, planting seeds or plants, and for putting little snippets. I snipped this diamond frost off of another piece of diamond frost and placed it right here. I love this stuff. It looks like little lights twinkling in the garden. There's actually several things I've been doing today in the garden, and if it's just barely misting, I can put a cap on and do a lot of things in the garden. But this is what I was coming to show you. I had another lily that bloomed. So evidently it doesn't stop that bloom. The rain does not stop that bloom from coming, from opening up and looking gorgeous. Sometimes the pictures with the rain on them are the prettiest of all. See if I don't know if you can see those water droplets there or not, but hopefully you'll be able to. I clipped this wasabi coleus off at the top and put little cuttings around to root in other places in the garden, so it will spread out some and not just be tall, but it'll fill my pot out pretty. I do love that pretty yellow green color. And I better get another shot of this beautiful, the President Clematis. They don't last long, but while they are there, they're certainly gorgeous. And here's our rain gauge again. 1 2/10. That's just this morning in Oklahoma, and especially in my area of Oklahoma. This has not been happening. So it just seems wonderful right now to me. Makes my heart sing, like this little sign says. But I don't want to sound too all excited about it, even though I am. But I remember last year when Oklahoma City got so much rain, and of course our weather report comes from Oklahoma City, and they kept saying we don't need more rain. And I'm thinking, we haven't had any yet here, give it to us. So I'm sure that those who have had any kind of destruction from the rains are wishing it would go away and come again another day. The little tobacco plants that I put around that are supposed to stay pretty all summer long, even in Oklahoma heat, so far are not doing much at all because of the rain. There it is back there, and it's going to match this and this coleus really nicely when it fills out, if it gets a chance to. But they've just been so damp, they really haven't had much of a chance to do anything but sit there. Well, I'm talking about destruction. There's my peach tree limb. And there is where it was. So that's the kinds of things that we get. But I mean, even this is nothing compared to flooding of your home, having everything destroyed, things like that. So as long as we just get this, I'm okay with it. Although that does look terrible, but you know, it's still good. So I just wanted to get a few more shots while to me it's nice. I love a rainy day. But I have my boots on, my rubber boots, because as I told you earlier, I did see a snake out here. It's been several weeks now, over a month most likely, but even at that, I still see it in my mind's eye, and I don't want to see it. So, and I certainly don't want to walk around out here and be bitten, which that's another thing. The rains have been, we've been warned that the rains are washing the snakes down out of their normal habitats and into people's yards, and we've had more snake bites. So that's probably a really good precaution to take, is my rubber boots, and hopefully that'll help, because you know, as a gardener, you're reaching your hands down and stuff all the time and pulling up a weed or doing something with a plant. So hopefully, I hope I never get snake bit. Those things scare me just to look at them. But for the most part, our rains have just been doing things like this. Look at this Kong coleus. Remember when I put that in there? You could barely see it. It was practically flat on the bottom of the pot there, or the top part of the pot. But now here it is, almost as big as that little garden decor that I have in there, and it's so pretty, so big and beautiful, living up to its name of Kong. This is the copper plant that my friend Alma gave me. Isn't that beautiful? I did have one, which it was not nearly as big. It's more like just the bottom part of this one. So, you know, I'll almost always take another plant, although I am getting so many pots that I need to bring in. And this I bought today, and this is an agapanthus, like lily of the Nile. And hopefully it will be really pretty too. I went down to get a black elephant ear for a friend of mine that had once told me she wanted one, and they do have them on sale at Janie's, and so I went in there and purchased one of those for her, and got that agapanthus, or this agapanthus right here. And hopefully I'll be showing you a beautiful bloom from that this year, if not maybe next year, because I did put it in a pot so I can bring it in. It's not cold hardy in our area. There, I wanted to straighten up that little bird feeder. It was all crooked, and I wanted to show you down here is this is called Painter's Palette, and it's getting big. It must be because of the rains. It kind of sat there last year, which was its first year though, so you know, every perennial does that thing where it first year it sleeps, and the next year it creeps, and the next year it leaps. Mine usually creep for 2 years and leap on the 4th year, but you know, that's just me. That's the way I do plants. But it doesn't matter. You really don't have to have a green thumb to do plants. All you have to have is a gardener's heart and be willing to do all that work. Like this right here needs dug up. You won't be able to walk by it much longer. And so many things that just keep growing and growing and growing. I put a few back there, and they're about to take over too. And these are toad lilies, which they don't bloom until late summer or early fall. And then they have a tiny little lily about the size of a quarter on them, and they're lovely. And this is another little plant that I found on the sale, on the summer sales. It's this little lantana, and it is pink, and I think it has some yellow in it too, but I think it's going to be pretty there. This is another little plant I found on the sale, on sale at Atwood's, and it did not have a label on it, but I think this is a balloon flower. So I'm hoping that's right. I think that will be pretty there. And then this pretty pink lily. This pretty little sedum is called Thundercloud, and it's like a miniature sedum. There's one called Thunderstorm that's the full-size one, but this is Thundercloud, and it's just a little miniature, and it fits in so many places in the garden and does so well because like this little pot, it doesn't get much water. Even when it gets a lot of rain, it's just too shallow, but it's plenty of water for a sedum, for a succulent. And I don't know the name of this little sedum, but look at that. There were so many just little scraggly, or not very many little scraggly ones in there, but I knew that they had a good chance, and they definitely have just taken off. It won't be long till the whole pot is filled with this, and it's so pretty. And there's another lily that will soon be open. And I need to thin this little succulent pot out. There's always so much to do in the garden, more than you'll ever get done, because when you get one thing done, another thing needs to be done. But it's so beautiful. I always think it's worth it, even though it's true that sometimes I do wonder about that too. I'm feeling this way because it's cool and nice to be out here. That's one reason I'm even out here in the rain, in the mist, because it won't be like this all summer long. I have to enjoy it while I can. This little coleus that I was telling you I think is so pretty, and that I thought it was Peter's Wonder. I saw in one of my magazines, I think it was Garden Gate, they had this they had several coleuses, and this was one of them, and they also called it Peter's Wonder. So it may have another name too. I think I've heard it called other names, but it's just beautiful. Look at these colors together. Isn't that pretty? I think these have opened up more since I showed them to you yesterday. This little pot was looking scraggly until I got to the sales, and I put several things in here, and they still look kind of small. They haven't got their roots in there very long, but they will probably, with this rain, it's probably going to help them to just really take off and go. I just ate one and it was pretty good. Still a tiny bit greenish, but not that much. So I'm taking this one to my husband. Just look at this beautiful pastel yarrow. Isn't that lovely? The red salvia is blooming also. Here's some more of that same kind of sedum that I was talking about earlier that's just filling this pot out. It's a small pot, but it's just hanging over the edges. And this little plant was called a blue Durante, and it did so well last year. When it blooms, it's just a vision in blue. The one beside it here, I'm pretty sure that's the one that's the blue butterfly plant from Logi's, and it is wonderful too. It really looks like a little flock of butterflies flying. I certainly hope I get to show you that this year. It didn't bloom for me last season, but I'm hoping it will this time. And that little ground cover that I forgot what the name of it was that I put in this pot, it's got some little tiny blue blooms on it today. This is a time of year, and because of our rain, when everything is just changing so fast from one day to the next. And I put some of that diamond frost euphorbia, and I bought a pretty good size one, and then I clipped it off in pieces and put it out here in the garden in different pots. They just look like little lights in the garden. I just think they're wonderful. And especially over here in the shade, where you need a little tiny light. But I think they are going to look really good here. Just trying to think where else I put them. I think I put about 5 over here. Oh, there's one behind this and by that red bird. And then I also got another Angelonia. This pretty purple and white together, two-tone one. I thought that was pretty. Some of the things that I'm a little reluctant to get before the sales go on, then I kind of go ahead and get a few of them. If I have places for them, you'd be surprised places you could find when you have to get a plant in. Like one time I went to Weight Watchers. I know you can't tell it now, but I did, and I actually reached my goal. And we had one of our instructors, she said, I know you can get a cup and a half a cup of ice cream if you press it hard enough. That's pretty sad when we get to doing things like that, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Oh, and this is another little plant. This is one of the Joseph's Coat plants, and I just put little snippets of it here and there too to kind of dress up some of my other pots that already had some things in. And over here in this pot, I have things, bulbs that I have to take in, and since I need to take this pot in the winter anyway, these plants won't live. They're not cold hardy through the winter. But I put a little piece of that agapanthus or lily of the Nile in it too. I was going to put the whole thing in this pot, but it just wouldn't fit without digging up a bunch of other stuff, and I didn't want to go that route. But look at this beautiful bleeding heart vine. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it did that from just a tiny, I thought it was dead, and then I saw a little speck of green on it, and you can look back, I showed it to you, but it's already this big, which is about a foot tall, maybe not quite a foot tall, but it may even have blooms this year. Wouldn't that be sweet? And then I'm going for the succulents that I didn't show you when I was showing you the succulents yesterday. I was telling you that I would like to tell my friend a little bit more about succulents, because I think she would just have to see them to fall in love with them and want them in her garden. But I told you that I did this little pot and it looked so scraggly, but look, it's almost all filled out now, and it looks so pretty. I just love it. And you don't have to have a lot. I bought this little one right here. I bought my first start. I think I got this one from Arbuckle Outdoors. But the first start that I got of this was just a tiny little start, not much bigger than this right here. And it just took off and went and made its own little mound. And then this other stuff, this is the Angelonia sedum that turns, it's the pretty yellow green, and it turns a beautiful pink and orange in the fall. And then that's some more of that little plant I just got through showing you. And then this little plant is another one that I bought with just a tiny little piece in in a pot, and I think it cost me like $4.99. I thought, well, this is cute. I'll see what it'll do. And it has filled out one of my back pots, and it's already doing good here. I would have never thought about going as far as it did to be as pretty as it is. And of course, this is the little red sedum, which I love too. And here's another one, because they just kind of break up the green, and these succulents are so wonderful for putting together. As I said on that other little clip that I did just yesterday, but I had missed some things, and then the rains brought out some things, and just wanted to do it again. Just getting out here and getting around into some of the things. Like right here's it's a new hibiscus for me. I can't remember the name of it. I still have my sign on it down there, but I can't see it from here. Plus I don't have my glasses on because they would just get wet, and I certainly couldn't see. It's not really raining right now, but it has been misting off and on since I've been doing this post. But my hibiscus, my hardy hibiscus, are coming up all over, and I took a couple of little starts, and I'm going to try for my friend Ruby to get her one started and rooted and give it to her. And then my other friend that I was telling you I spent some time with this last week, she was liking the bleeding hearts. Anyway, she said, oh, you have a bleeding heart. So I thought, well, I'll see if I can't get her one started from mine, because they do start pretty easily. So hopefully that'll happen. Oh, look, here's some of the white and yellow lantana. It's really looking good. I didn't notice it from the other side that it was blooming that much.